480 BC. A narrow pass in northern Greece. A place called Thermopylae, the Hot Gates. 300 Spartans stand in formation, bronze helmets gleaming, red cloaks flowing, shields locked tight. They know what's coming. They all know. A Persian army, 100,000 strong, maybe more. The Spartans will make their stand here. They will fight. They will die. All of them, except one. His name is Aristodemus, and he's about to learn that sometimes surviving is worse than dying. Because in Sparta, there are fates far worse than death. Living when your brothers have fallen is one of them. This is the story of the man who survived when 300 did not. Welcome to Archive of Witnesses. Every witness deserves to be remembered, even the ones who wish they weren't.
To understand this story, you need to understand Sparta. Sparta wasn't like other Greek cities. Athens had philosophers, artists, and democracy, but Sparta had warriors. From the age of 7, Spartan boys were taken from their mothers, trained to fight, to endure pain, to never retreat. They lived by 3 words, words that defined their entire existence. Come back with your shield, or on it. Victory or death. There was no middle ground. To run from battle was unthinkable. To surrender? Unforgivable. To survive when your brothers fell was the greatest shame of all. Spartans didn't fear death. They feared dishonor. And in 480 BC, dishonor was about to become Aristodemus's only companion. But first came the Hot Gates.
The year is 480 BC. King Xerxes of Persia has decided to conquer Greece. His army is massive. Ancient historians say 2 million men. Modern scholars believe closer to 100,000. Either way, it's the largest invasion force ever assembled. They march west, crushing everything in their path. Cities fall, armies scatter. Greece is divided and afraid. Most cities are ready to surrender. But Sparta doesn't surrender. King Leonidas of Sparta makes his choice. He will take 300 of his best warriors, his personal guard, the Spartiates, and march north to a place called Thermopylae, the Hot Gates, a narrow pass between the mountains and the sea. If the Persians want Greece, they'll have to come through here, and Leonidas will be waiting. Among those 300 is Aristodemus. He has no idea what's coming.
August 480. The 300 march north. They know they're marching to their deaths. Leonidas knows. The soldiers know. Before they left, Leonidas's wife asked him, "What should I do?" He looked at her and said, "Marry a good man and have good children." He knew. They all knew. They arrive at Thermopylae. The pass is perfect. Narrow, maybe 50 feet wide at some points. Mountains on one side, cliffs and sea on the other. 100,000 Persians can only attack a few dozen at a time. The Spartans build a wall, stone and bodies, and they wait. Aristodemus stands in formation, shield to shield with his brothers, ready to die. But here's the thing. He won't get that chance.
Day 1. The Persian army arrives. They see 300 men blocking the pass.
Xerxes is amused. He sends a messenger. "Lay down your weapons," the messenger says. Leonidas looks at him. "Come and take them," he replies. The battle begins. Wave after wave of Persians crash against the Spartan line. The pass is so narrow, they can only attack 20, maybe 30 at a time. The Spartans cut them down like wheat. Persian soldiers slip on the blood of their own dead. Bodies pile up. The living have to climb over corpses just to reach the Spartan shields. Day 2. Xerxes sends his elite troops, the Immortals. 10,000 of his best warriors. They fare no better. The Spartans fight in shifts. Rest, fight, rest again. Aristodemus is in the thick of it. His spear breaks, he draws his sword. His sword breaks, he uses his shield as a weapon. This is what they trained for, their entire lives. Day 3 begins, and everything changes.
Night of the second day. A Greek trader comes to Xerxes. His name is Ephialtes. "There's a path," he says, "a mountain trail, hidden. It goes around the pass." Xerxes smiles. That night, the Immortals march through the mountains in darkness, heading for the Spartan rear. By dawn, Leonidas knows. A scout brings word. "They're behind us," he says. The trap is closing. Leonidas gathers the 300 and the other Greek allies, about 7,000 men in total. "The Persians will surround us by midday," he says. "Anyone who wants to leave, leave now." Most of the Greek allies retreat. They're not Spartans. They don't have a death wish. But the 300 stay. Of course they stay. And then Leonidas makes a decision. He calls 2 men forward, Aristodemus and another warrior named Eurytos. Both men have developed severe eye infections from the dust, the sun, the fighting. They can barely see. "You're both dismissed," Leonidas says. "Return to Sparta." That's an order. Aristodemus' world stops.
Aristodemus stands there, frozen. He can barely see through the infection. Pain shoots through his eyes. But he can still fight. Eurytus, the other dismissed warrior, makes his choice immediately. "I'm staying," he says. He orders his Helot servant to lead him to the battle line. Blind, half dead, he's staying. He'll die with his brothers. Aristodemus hesitates. He's been given an order by his king. Spartans follow orders, but every fiber of his being screams at him to stay. He looks at the 300, his brothers, his family. They're putting on their helmets, checking their weapons one last time. Some are joking, some are silent. All of them are about to die. Aristodemus turns and walks away. He follows the order. He leaves. And with every step, a piece of him dies. Behind him, the roar of battle begins. The 300 and Eurytus make their final stand. By sunset, all of them are dead. All except one. Aristodemus walks back to Sparta, alone. News of Thermopylae reaches the city before he does. 300 Spartans dead. Eurytus dead, fighting blind, refusing to leave. And Aristodemus, alive. When he enters Sparta, the streets fall silent. People turn away. Some even spit as he passes. Children whisper, "Aristodemus the coward, the Trembler." No one speaks to him. No one looks at him. In Sparta, being unseen is worse than being dead. He tries to explain, I was ordered to leave, he says, by Leonidas himself. But it doesn't matter. Eurytus was given the same order, and Eurytus stayed. You had a choice, they tell him. Eurytus chose honor. You chose life. And in Sparta, that's all that matters. For a year, Aristodemus lives as a ghost. No one gives him fire to light his hearth. No one speaks his name. No one meets his eyes. He is alive, but he is not living. And then comes Plataea.
479 BC, 1 year after Thermopylae. The Persians are back. Greece assembles the largest army it has ever fielded. The battle will be at Plataea, and Aristodemus marches with them. He knows what he has to do. There's only one way to erase the shame. Death. Glorious, undeniable death. The battle begins. The Spartan phalanx advances, shields locked, discipline perfect. And then Aristodemus breaks formation. He charges, alone, straight into the Persian center. His spear finds throats, chests, eyes. Men fall before him like grass. He's not trying to survive. He's trying to die spectacularly. His shield is hacked apart. He keeps fighting. His helmet is torn off. He keeps fighting. Arrows pierce his armor. He keeps fighting. The other Spartans watch, in awe, in horror. They've never seen fury like this. Finally, a Persian spear finds him. He falls. When the battle is over, when the Persians are broken, the Spartans count the dead. Around Aristodemus' body, they count over 20 Persians. He died as he wanted to, in glory, in blood. But the question remains. After the battle, the Spartans hold council. They must decide who fought most bravely at Plataea. Aristodemus' name comes up. Some argue he should receive the highest honors. He killed more enemies than anyone, they say. He turned the tide of the battle. But others disagree. They say he broke formation. He fought like a man who wanted to die. That's not courage, that's desperation. He wasn't trying to win, he was trying to erase shame. In the end, they give the honor to another warrior, a man who fought bravely but also followed orders, a man who fought to live, not to die. The question has echoed through 2,500 years. Did Aristodemus redeem himself? He followed his king's order at Thermopylae and paid for it with a year of unbearable shame. At Plataea, he fought with courage that defied description. He gave his life violently, completely. But was it courage? Or was it suicide with glory? The Spartans never decided. Maybe there is no answer. Aristodemus lived when honor demanded he die, and died when he could have lived. He was a survivor of Thermopylae, the only one, and it destroyed him.
300 Spartans died at Thermopylae. They were remembered as heroes. One Spartan survived, and he's remembered as a question. What is courage? Is it following orders, even when your heart screams to stay? Is it dying spectacularly to wash away shame? Or is it something else entirely? Aristodemus was given an impossible choice. Obey his king or die with his brothers? He chose obedience and spent a year wishing he'd chosen death. At Plataea, he finally got his wish. But the Spartans never agreed whether he'd redeemed himself, because redemption, like courage, isn't always clear. This is why Archive of Witnesses exists, to preserve these stories, the complicated ones, the uncomfortable ones, the ones that don't have easy answers. Aristodemus' story reminds us that history isn't just about heroes and villains. It's about human beings making impossible choices, living with consequences. If this story moved you, subscribe to Archive of Witnesses. We bring you untold stories from World War II, Cold War espionage, and ancient warriors. The accounts history overlooks. Hit the notification bell, and in the comments tell us, do you think Aristodemus redeemed himself? Or did he die trying to escape shame? Share this story, because some questions are worth asking even 2,500 years later. Until next time, remember, history is written by those brave enough to live it, and sometimes by those brave enough to survive it. This is Archive of Witnesses.